We're
Yes.
live. Rise and shine. Welcome, welcome to the Green Nurse Podcast, where we bring you hope and inspiration for growth and healing. We're here to decrease stigma around what it means to feel good and be high. And I'm going to share with you guys a little special video that is near and dear to my heart that inspires me every day to get up and to continue to do this work so I can continue to help the most people. Here we go.
We're here to educate and empower patients to make choices that are best for them. We're also here to decrease stigma around what it means to feel good and be high. Hence the H for hope, I for inspiration, G for growth, and H for healing. The Green Nurse is a holistic cannabis nurse that teaches on the endocannabinoid system and the safe utilization of cannabis and other progressive tools to help people reach a better quality of life.
I was cannabis agnostic for many, many years. And the more research I did, the more I discovered that cannabis is this amazing medicine.
I was told that I had a 4-stage pancreatic cancer. The doctor really told me he couldn't do anything else. He gave me her name and she called me and she came to my house. She started to give me cannabis. My oncologist was puzzled because he couldn't find the cancer anymore.
All of the learning that we get comes from the Green Nurses Group, comes from their support, comes from their guidance. I trust everything that she says.
Simply meet people where they're at. The plant doesn't, stress to grow, so we don't stress to share it. We're healing people.
Cannabis has been used as a medicine for tens upon thousands of years. Here's the big message. Cannabis needs to be federally legal. We need to have laws that are the same across all 50 states that allow access to anyone and everyone who wants to utilize this powerful medicine.
All right, here we are, everyone. Rise and shine. Seriously, that's really what we're here to do. We're here to decrease stigma. We're here to elevate the plant, bring in plant wisdom, and share that information with you all every day. So I just want to introduce my co-host today, Green Nurse Iowa, Carey Lure. She's been with us for a while now, and boy, is she doing amazing things in the community. And I just want to give her the opportunity to introduce herself and what she's doing as a cannabis green nurse on our platform. So welcome, Carey Lee.
Thank you, Sherri. Good morning, everybody. My name is Carey Lure. I'm a registered nurse here in Iowa, the great state of Iowa. And I am Green Nurse Iowa. I work, my specialty is pretty much mental health. Mainly like anxiety, depression, ties into sleep disturbances, insomnia. I really like to focus on getting back to the basics in terms of five to thrive. So it's just kind of like getting back to like before we 555 high five. Before we get, go towards the pharmaceutical route and all these other different, invasive type things, are you getting good sleep? Are you getting good nutrition and hydration? Are you moving your ass every day and getting physical movement? Are you getting, some stress reducing activities and like meditation or gratitude journaling? And, are you getting outside in nature, So that's pretty much what I'm working on. I'm also an at-home oral ketamine nurse guide for Kata MD and a nursing supervisor for that company as well. So yeah, life is good. Great to be here, Sherri. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, rise and shine. Live your best lifetime. Seriously, do what you can right here, right now, to help yourself. You're worth it. Mark is usually on every morning talking about how awesome you all are, and you are. Oftentimes what we need to do is just pull back, get out of the story, look at things from a different perspective, and carry on. Cannabis is a great tool. So when Carey Lee talks about the daily 5 to thrive, her business is Soul Thrive. Think about what the plant does. The plant grows towards the sun. And Carey Lee, what you've taught me the most is about the seasons and how important it is for us to really uptake our self-care as we start to change in the seasons, right? So that's seasonal, effective, and how sunshine and exercise is so important to keep the endocannabinoid system healthy. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start off with some daily love, starting off the day with positive affirmations, a little reading, a little woo, woo for you, woo for me, woo for we. And cannabis is just a great tool to help us step into that spiritual realm, right? It makes the veil very thin and allows us to pull in, dig down deep, and just listen to that inner spiritual voice. And I know every morning I need a little reminder. I wake up endocannabinoid deficient for sure. And so, my little coffee, my little cannabis, my little reading. And so we're going to share the daily love from Carey Lee.
Daily love from Carey Lee. Oh my gosh. I am so sorry. I've come completely unprepared. Hold that thought. I've got one little thing right here.
Well, what do we got here? I got some angels
we've got this
here.
right here. Oh, look,
you got it.
Woo! I've got Cleo Wade. So this is what we're going to do. I love Cleo Wade. She's one of my favorite authors or poetry. So I'm just going to fan the book, and whatever message pops up is meant to be for us, right?
Go daily love, daily love.
Okay,
page.
So here we go. The way out and the way forward. I loved myself through what I had been through. This is how I stayed afloat even when life's waters raised above my head. And when I needed someone to trust, this is how I knew which hands were helping hands and which were hurting hands. Wow, that's pretty powerful. And when I needed someone to trust, this is how I knew which hands were helping hands and which were hurting hands. So
here it is.
Transformative time out there, right, Sher?
Oh yeah. A lot of, a lot of things are bubbling up for us to process, right? So when you think about when you're drowning in all these emotions, just think hope floats.
I love that.
And how we can get into our hope raft and literally 100% float on that raft and imagine you have love surrounding you. And what can we do to bring on top of our raft so we can continue to float in hope, right? And cannabis, that's why we talk about that high. You hear me say it all the time. I don't want to be high. I don't want to be high. I'm like, I don't want to be high. I'm afraid to be high. And I'm like, guys, you're missing the whole point of language. You get to determine what that word high means. Oh, boom. How about that?
Yeah.
Right. And so when we're decreasing stigma around what it means to feel good and be high, we do talk about that hope, inspiration, and growth and healing, because so many of us, when we come to cannabis, like myself, broken, completely 100% traumatized by pharmaceuticals and the traditional system. And that moment in time, that aha moment when it just makes sense, was when I did this.
Yep.
Right? Let me be peace. And cannabis came in.
It kind of helps
settle,
quiet it down a little bit, right? So you can think.
Yeah. And just listen to instead of the screaming, loud voice in my head, cannabis allowed me to sink in and to listen to the plant wisdom that is gentle, loving, and kind. And through that gentle, loving, kind inhale, right? What did I receive? I received the spirit of plant wisdom, that inspiration. And when we're inspired, we're in spirit. And when we're in spirit and quiet and calm, it allows messages to come forth for us to think about and process, to see if we want to incorporate these things into our lives for growth and healing, right? That's what it's all about. And growing in health is personal. That's the other thing we talk about, the blanket statements about how cannabis is supposed to work for us or how we're supposed to take care of ourselves, it's individual. Growing in health is about you growing in your own health, right? And healing isn't the absence of disease. That's one of the things I learned. I've got a diagnosis list this long. I've got a past medical history, a surgical list, the medications, but I'm not living in that story of sickness, illness, and that trajectory of doom and gloom. I have something. What are we doing? I'm dealing with it. Feel, deal, heal, share,
Yes.
see, soar, right? And so That's the part that we like to talk about, the hope, inspiration, growth, and healing. And now we're going to delve a little bit deeper into the endocannabinoid system. I really like that reading, Carey Lee. It does. It just makes sense to me. And just like I said, another tool in the toolbox, another way to look at a different situation, to process, and just to open up your minds, you know? So here we go. Let's say hello to everyone. Do you see all the peeps in the
I
comments?
do see all the people.
All right,
Eric.
I'm gonna let you pull them up while I pull up all our little
Okay.
pictures here.
So I see
Susan.
Deanna. Good morning, Deanna. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Mhm.
And it looks like Denise is out there. I bet that's Green Nurse Denise talking under the Green Nurse handle. Good morning, fabulous Green Nurse Denise.
Good
And
morning.
Eric, you're late. Better late than never, Eric. Thanks for joining us. And we think you're beautiful too.
There you
And so
go.
who else do we have here? Brian Campbell. Good morning and happy wake and bake to you too. Ooh, Tiffany. Tiffany's in the house. Girl, thanks for showing up.
Tiffany. Yeah, guys.
Yeah.
You know, thank you for
Awesome.
showing up. Thank you for being here with us today. Thank you for sharing the love. So share this video, share all of our messages. We're here to help you all. We're here to decrease stigma. We're here to educate and empower, and we're here to teach you how to have a safe experience. And part about having a safe experience is what? Learning about the endocannabinoid system, right? The most important system in our body that we never learned about in school. So we're going to review this. You know, it was very interesting when we did our Canna Vacation Green Nurse Energized Living retreats. We had a variety of people that were there that had been consuming cannabis for a long time that didn't understand the endocannabinoid system. And so what we wanted to do is we want to educate on that and how all the different things that we do or don't do in our lives either support that system or don't. So this first slide here, it demonstrates how the endocannabinoid system is the most important system in our bodies. We have an endocannabinoid system not because of the plant, but because we create components in our bodies just like the plant. And the goal of cannabinoid therapeutics is to help nourish and support the endocannabinoid system with all of those different things that we talk about, the daily 5 to thrive, the energized living. You know, you hear us go through the list, right? So cannabis is definitely one of the tools, and the goal of cannabinoid therapeutics is to take the least amount of cannabis to get the most perceivable effect below the threshold of being impaired. Key, 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 key. What do you think about that, Carey, while I pull up the next slide?
I think less is more. I think that
Yeah.
was the hardest thing for me to wrap around my head because, I didn't come into cannabis necessarily as a patient like so many. I've been a recreational user for decades. I love the plant. She's my bestie. So it was always like I gotta keep smoking, you know what I mean, whatever. But so realizing that you really get so much, it's so powerful with just a little bit. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
It's a better way of living, I think, personally.
Totally a better way of living. And so when we think about
Yeah.
the endocannabinoid system, you know, eat, sleep, relax, forget, protect, refresh, relax, recharge, right? The endocannabinoid system is involved in all physiological processes. I love it when Elizabeth Mack, who wrote this awesome book, which I'll show in a few minutes, she uses this word, and it's just a fun word that I'm going to start incorporating into my
Yes.
education. Pleiotropic.
Pleiotropic.
Just think about that.
I love it.
So the whole philosophy of the pleiotropic is that cannabinoids work on multiple systems at the same time, producing a physiological response. And so I'm going to give analogy of that in the next slide. What do you think about this slide, Carey Lee?
I think it's fabulous.
I know, me too. It just makes sense because cannabinoids does regulate appetite, digestion, blood pressure, blood sugar, mood, memory, pleasure and reward, pain, reproduction, sleep, and temperature. And this little cool handy dandy slide we're going to go over is this gives an analogy, a demonstration. And when we were at Cannication this weekend, I had a nice big umbrella and I was twirling it around and just showing and educating about how the endocannabinoid system is like an umbrella. Our bodies are that umbrella because it's a very abstract concept. It took me a while to get it, literally 2 years. And so learning how to make the analogy to other things in our lives was really helpful. So if you imagine that your body is the umbrella, right? All the different spokes of the umbrella are your different organ systems and immune system. And you can see them all there: nervous, endocrine, circulatory, respiratory, integumentary, reproductive, lymphatic, digestive, urinary, skeletal, and muscular and immune systems. We have a very amazing, complex body. And what attaches those spokes, what attaches to the spokes of the umbrella are those little fabric pieces. And think of the fabric pieces of the umbrella as those messenger signaling systems that give messages to the spokes of the umbrella to tell our body to either do something or not do something. So the endocannabinoid system sits at the tippy top of the umbrella, and it blankets, it encompasses the whole. That's why we talk about whole plant, whole body, whole umbrella. The endocannabinoid system blankets on top of our entire umbrella because we have cannabinoid receptors on all of the cell surfaces of all of our organ systems. We have cannabinoid receptors on all of the neurotransmitter signaling junction sites, like we said, to give messages to keep our body in balance. So do you have any of the notes pulled up, Carey Lee, about the examples?
The examples
of the on-off switch. So the
Yes.
endocannabinoid system is like the on-off switch with the
Yes.
feedback loop, right?
Yes.
So you just think of it reacts to a stimulus. Something happens in one of the imagine 3 things are happening at the same time at the spokes of your umbrella. Boom, what happens? The endocannabinoid system, the powerhouse, the super turns on, right? It has a feedback loop. It reacts to a stimulus in the environment that's affecting one of our organ systems, and it tells our body to do something or stop doing something. Like I said, with the goal of returning our body back to homeostasis. And just a quick example, you think about this. If we perceive danger in the environment, this is how it kind of links to the endocannabinoid system, the PTSD, the trauma response, the panic, right? If we perceive danger in our environment, what happens? The endocannabinoid system turns on, the adrenaline, the fight or flight response. And when the danger is over, the feedback loop tells the off switch to activate our own internal endogenous cannabinoids to turn off the adrenaline, to dial it down. So if we're not making enough of our own internal endogenous cannabinoids, what happens? The messages don't get where they need to go. And oftentimes people can remain in that chronic fight or flight, severe anxiety, stress that looks like PTSD. So very interesting. One other quick example. You scrape your knee and germs invade, right? So what happens is the on switch turns on and starts the inflammatory response to kill the germs. So when the germs are dead, right, the feedback loop says, hello, hello, all done, right? Let's turn the switch off. We're going to dial it down, dial down the inflammatory response. However, if you're not making enough of your own internal endogenous cannabinoids, the messages don't get where they need to go to turn off that inflammatory response. And we may develop chronic inflammation. So, cannabinoids are needed to keep our bodies running smoothly like a well-oiled machine. And if we're not making enough, messages don't get where they need to go or to perform the action. And we start to see our body system start to break down, become out of balance, and then disease types sets in. So what I want to go over now is one of the other slides that is probably my favorite slide. This one. All right, you guys, this is probably my favorite. Right? And so this slide here talks about THC and anandamide, right? And so when we're talking about the endocannabinoid system and cannabinoids are classified in a few different ways. Phytocannabinoids, the plant found in leaves, flowers, stems, and seeds collected from the cannabis sativa plant. Then we have our own internal endogenous cannabinoids that our body makes. For example, the anandamide and the 2-AG, and then we also make enzymes to break it down, FA and MAGL. So then we have phytocannabinoids plant, endogenous cannabinoids we make. There's also purified, naturally occurring cannabinoids purified from plant sources. Examples include CBD and delta-9. And then we have synthetic cannabinoids that are synthesized in a laboratory. And what they actually do is they are the molecular structure. So they've created the synthetic cannabinoids to mimic the THC and the anandamide molecule. So this slide, when I saw this, Carey Lee, when I saw the The key is THC. Hate to say it, but oop,
I love
blinking.
that. The key is THC. The key is THC. No.
Well, you just think about when you look at this really cool diagram that just kind of went away. Let me put it
It
back
does
up
fit
there.
though. It's mind blowing how similar the structure.
Yeah, it is. And it's the part that is interesting to me is how they've done this a long time ago. So if you think about THC molecule being isolated, anandamide being isolated, they've created these other drugs, the Marinol, the Epidiolex. So they've known about this, right? And so this is where we get tied into, the whole politics and pharmacology and, money-driven pharmaceuticals,
Yes.
how, right? What else?
Let's go back to that word pleiotropic. This is this is just so that word pleiotropic, meaning that it's the cannabinoids are working on so many different things all at the same time, right? Well, that would explain why the plant helps deal with so many different illnesses, ailments, easing of different various symptoms from all the different various body systems. So it satisfies my scientific curiosity. Like it just fits. It makes so much sense. It's mind blowing.
It is mind blowing.
It's mind blowing.
It is. So if we get back to, I want you to think about what right now? Think about the umbrella concept, right? The endocannabinoid system blankets on top of the umbrella. We produce internal endogenous cannabinoids at the tippy top of the umbrella. And if we don't make enough, and we're going to talk about that tomorrow, we have an endocannabinoid deficiency, and we're going to talk about what that looks like tomorrow. But for the most part, when we talk about cannabinoid therapeutics, we're going to differentiate here. This is why we like whole plant medicine. Okay, so you think about pharmaceuticals entering in on top of our umbrella. Pharmaceuticals come in, one isolated molecule doing one thing. That's it, right? One. So when you introduce THC or CBD, and if that's the only thing that you're introducing, that's okay. It's better than nothing. But what we really want is the whole plant.
You want the whole shebang, honey. All of it.
Yes. We want the whole plant showering on our umbrella, right? So look at this.
Yes.
So many different components of the plant: CBG, CBGA, CBGVA, THCA. I mean, it goes on. And if you look at all the different areas of the plant, the raw plant, the heated plant, the aged plant, the plant has a medicinal component and acts as medicine in our body, no matter what stage you take it in. There is the magic of cannabis.
It really is. It is magic. It's wonderful. Yeah. So grateful for the plant. Thank you, plant medicine.
Yeah. Good stuff. So this has been, and here's the other reason why we're so passionate. I'm really going slap happy with the slides.
They're beautiful.
And we talk about this every Monday, right? So once we learned about the endocannabinoid system as nurses, I don't know about you, but it lit a fire under my ass.
Oh yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
And it was the aha moment. So the National Council State Boards of Nursing, just to wrap it up, is the Journal of Nursing Regulations that put together the NCLEX exam for all nurses to be licensed in the particular state that they live in. So the NCLEX exam put out a 64-page document in the Journal of Nursing Regulations in 2018 on cannabis. And what they said in the Journal of Nursing Regulation was this: all nurses, nurse practitioners, advanced practice nurses, and nursing students must have 6 essential areas of knowledge when it comes to cannabis as medicine. And we go over that every single Monday. So I am going to get rid of this slide, and we are going to remove from studio. So it is just you and me. Remove from studio. How do I get rid of the slide? Here we go. So what do we got going on? Well, this is what it's going to lead to. It always leads to a call to action, right? And the call to action of being really real. We want you guys to come into our community. We have the holistic, caring, green nurse community. We have a book club that we just started, and you don't even need to own the book. And it says Cannabis for Health, Become a Coach. And a lot of people will see this and they'll be like, I don't want to become a coach. I'm like, guess what? You need to become your own coach.
Yes,
This is
first.
right. Right.
Absolutely. Best way to learn.
So what do you think about the community, Carey Lee? You just joined in.
I love it. I mean, you know what? I love that it's private. I love that it's uncensored. I love that I'm not going to get shut down for talking about the plant. And you know, we're building a great community here. It's fabulous. We're learning lots of things. There's a whole bevy of different people from all different walks of life, healthcare, laymen, and you know what? Like-minded folks. You want to surround yourself with like-minded people so that you can learn. You're inspired, motivated, and somebody, you know, it's just really supportive. It's great.
It's
There's
a
a lot
really
of
great
great things. Education, fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's an ecosystem. So we've created a place for all patients, nurses, and providers. And so the other thing I want to plug, and I didn't put it up, but I'm going to put it up later, is we have a next Wednesday. It's free and it's event. So if you're interested in becoming a cannabis coach, interested in coming into the cannabis industry, or if you're a nurse practitioner, interested in incorporating cannabis into what you're doing, we have a meet and greet. All the green nurses and cannabis nurses from the green nurse and holistic caring community to talk about our process, about how we got involved in the cannabis space and the steps that we took and how we're doing it now. So people that are interested in wanting to do this work, no matter what you do, right? No matter what you do in health and wellness, you can incorporate cannabis education into your practice and truly make a difference in your clients' and patients' lives. So come learn with us. Come learn and hear from the nurses that we've worked with. Carey Lee's going to be speaking. Denise is going to be speaking. Michelle's going to be speaking. We have Heather Shelton's going to be speaking. And there's a lot of other coaches that have gone through the program and have worked with us that are now doing great things in the community. And we want you to hear it all because there is a potential for you all to really make a difference in the space, improving the quality of lives of so many different people. So there you go. There you have
Lots
it.
of fun. Lots of fun.
Lots of fun. And so what do we got? What else we got going on? So we've got
You have got
Tuesday.
a show coming on tonight with who is coming on tonight?
Oh, the very lovely Tasha Jackson. So Tasha Jackson of Holistic Caring Network is the Vice President of Program Development. So she's just not a program developer. She is a clinical educator. She actually is a school teacher. She has her master's in science and education, and she has been creating alongside with the nurses. So Carey Lee's going to create a program on seasonal affective disorder and the daily 5 to Thrive. So she's going to create that program, and Tasha is going to put it together so we can have it on the platform. So these are the types of things that Tasha does, and we're going to talk to her about what it was like to go from being a school teacher to now helping nurses and medical professionals write curriculum for programs. So it's going to be a really good show tonight, and she does amazing work in the community. Yeah. And then we have, oh God, I got to keep plugging. So then we have our shows tomorrow. We've got, tomorrow I have Kathleen on, Kathleen Graham from Michigan.
Powerhouse cannabis nurse from Michigan. My God.
I know.
She's
Cheers
doing
to
great
Kathleen.
stuff.
She is doing great stuff. And then I have you back on Friday.
Freaky Friday. I love a good Friday show.
I know, it's a Fry High Day. Start our day.
Fry High.
And then Saturday, something big, the Boston Freedom Rally. Really, really excited for this. This is my opportunity to literally get on stage, get on my knees, and thank the grassroots community for doing everything that they've done. You know, the Mass Can, you know, all the people in the grassroots community that have been forging forward, that have been pushing for legalization, that have been doing this underground, that have been caring for people. So yes, I get to go on stage and I get to share my experience with cannabis and what I'm doing now, and really the whole point of me getting up there is to give gratitude and thanks. Because I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here today. I know I wouldn't be. Yeah. So Carey Lee, We're going to have a daily 5 to Thrive day. I don't know about you, but it's looking nice out. I got to move this body. Motion is the
Oh,
lotion.
me too. Me too.
Yeah.
It always
And,
helps
you
me
know,
get right up here, right
right
in
up
the
here,
mind.
right in the mind. Exactly.
Yeah.
So remember, what's it all about, Carey Lee? What are we doing today?
We are living our best lives and we're helping others live their best lives as well.
We love you guys. See you later tonight. Bye.
Bye.